فين اهلا بيكم مره ثانيه وسعيد كل مره بقول رقم الحلقه بكون سعيد اكتر من المره اللي قبلها. اهلا بيكم في الحلقه ال 32 من لقائنا الاسبوعي على فيسبوك لايف كل يوم اثنين الساعه 10 بالليل. انا فادي رمزي والنهارده بنتكلم في موضوع غايه في الاهميه، وعشان كده جبنا معانا جاست سبيكر او يعني ليتس سي اكسبرت غايه برضو في القوه في الموضوع ده. ولكن عايز الاول ارحب بيكم وافكركم ده لقائنا الاسبوعي لكل يوم اثنين الساعه 10 بتوقيت القاهره. بنتكلم عن كل ما هو جديد في موضوع الاونلاين ماركتنج، الديجيتال كوميونيكيشنز، مستجدات السوشيال ميديا من وجهه نظر بيست براكتسز، الادوات والتولز، الاستراتيجيز، الاخبار الجديده، كل اللي بيحصل على الساحه الديجيتال بصفه عامه، بحيث كلنا نكون يعني ابديتد بقدر المستطاع على الموضوع ده، بالذات في الاوقات العصيبه اللي احنا فيها في زمن يعني ربنا يزيحه عننا وعن الجميع، يعني كورونا فيروس. والجانب الايجابي منه ان هو زود يعني بطبيعه الحال استعمالنا للانترنت بشكل رهيب، او بشكل يعني بيقال 3 أو 4 اضعاف في بعض الدول. فدايما الفوكس عندنا الشهر ده او على مدار الاربع مرات بتوع شهر مايو بنتكلم عن ازاي نقدر نستغل الوقت الاكثر او الفرصه الاكثر ان احنا قاعدين في البيت بشكل مطول اكثر، قاعدين في البيت بشكل مستمر، قاعدين على الانترنت او مع الانترنت بشكل اكثر. فازاي نقدر نستغل الموضوع ده بشكل ايجابي؟ ازاي نقدر نستغل الموضوع ده نخلق فرص لنفسنا، بالذات ان للاسف قد نكون داخلين على شويه كرايسيس او ريسيشن او بعض الاسباب بتقلل العماله، بتقلل الموظفين. ولكن دايما لو بصينا على نص الكوبايه المليان نكتشف ان الوقت بتاع كورونا فيروس، بما ان احنا عندنا شويه وقت زياده او قاعدين في البيت او مع الانترنت وقت اكثر، قد يكون فرصه لينا ان احنا نتعلم مهارات جديده، نكتسب مهارات جديده، او نبني بيرسونال براندنج لينا، او نبني يعني كارير افضل لينا بغض النظر عن المكان او الشركه اللي احنا شغالين فيها. ممكن يكون دي فرصه ان احنا ناخد نقله لينا بشكل سريع لو ركزنا في استغلال الوضع الحالي. وعشان كده زي ما كنت بقول خصصنا الشهر ده ان احنا كلنا نتناقش وننقل لحضراتكم الخبرات المتعلقه بالموضوع ده. سريعا، اول مره اتكلمنا عن المهارات اللي انا اقدر اعملها والفرص اللي انا اقدر استغلها من الاونلاين، سواء في الويب سايتس ان انا اقدر اعمل عليها شغل فريلانسنج، او اقدر اعمل اونلاين كورسز، او اقدر اعمل افيليت ماركتنج، او اقدر اعمل اونلاين كونسلتيشن. المره اللي بعديها اتكلمنا عن فرصه المحتوى الصوتي والاوديو كونتنت، سبيشالي موضوع البودكاستنج وازاي هو ترندنج ومهم جدا. وزي ما بيقول كده without further ado، النهارده معانا يعني صديقتنا العزيزه، she's an يعني popular international expert. النهارده يا جماعه الحلقه باللغه الانجليزيه نظرا لان اور expert هي تونسيه عربيه بتتكلم مصري احسن مني، ولكن she's currently in the US, so we'll have our session today in English. So without further ado, I would like to يعني warmly welcome Ines Nasri. She's an expert in digital marketing and digital transformation, and today she'll be talking to us about her experience and her advices about digital marketing in crisis times, in this critical time that we are living in. How can we leverage on that? What are the best practices? What we can do from her perspective as an international digital marketing and digital transformation expert, trainer, and speaker. We'll be hearing from her her experience and her advices to all of us. First of all, welcome Ines. Thank you so much for having the time being with us today. It's really a great pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you very much, Fady. Thank you for having me, and thank you for putting all this together. I know it's not easy, so thank you everyone also who is attending this. Let's say kind of chat. Let's say friendly chat with Fady. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, and I hope that we will be able to have an interesting conversation. So, like you said, we will start with maybe a few questions, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that anyone might ask within the audience. Again, thank you very much, Fady, for having me. So excited about that.
Thank you so much, Ines. It's again our pleasure, and I'll go straight to the point because
Right.
That's the main challenge. Everyone in the digital business currently, whether it's digital marketing, online communications, whatever it is, anyone working in the digital era, there is a dilemma. There is a confusion now about the digital marketing. How can we do, or what are the advices and tips for digital marketing, and what is the current and the biggest impact of coronavirus on digital marketing? How do you see that?
Oh, actually, I think like these are two different sides of your question. The first side is you were, and correct me if I'm wrong. You were talking about the impact of the coronavirus outbreak on digital marketing, and there's another side which is maybe the best practices or what we can do to make the most out of it, especially as marketers, business owners, and managers. What we can do to make the most out of this. Crisis, not only to survive this crisis. So what I see from my perspective is the most important thing, the biggest impact, if you like, that this outbreak had on digital marketing is actually the shift that we saw in customer behavior. The shift is so huge, it's so big. Not only we are seeing people that are using more and more internet, using more and more social platforms, but also we are seeing a shift in the behavior and in the mindset. Let me just give you a very, very simple example, a quick example. So with people now forced kind of not to go to and afraid to go to public spaces, to shopping centers, to workplaces, to whatever. So with people forced to stay home, they are more and more on internet, right? They are more and more using social media. They are more and more using YouTube and those platforms. But not only that, people are using digital platforms not only for entertainment. They are using those platforms for their everyday needs, like buying groceries, like working remotely, like educating their children, like learning and all that. I think that most countries in the world would never do that in that pace if it was not of the coronavirus. I know many people that only few months ago would never ever have accepted to have their children, follow their courses like entirely online, like what is going on right now, and never accept to work 100% remotely from home. Would never even think about buying their groceries entirely online because they want to have this experience of going outdoors and buying and spending time together. They would never ever think about that, even like talking to their doctors remotely. So we saw an amazing huge shift of customer behavior, and this is something that is definitely impacting the way brands should communicate, where, when, and how much to spend, of course. So I think that this is basically the most important part. And I took a few seconds before our workshop, our meeting, and I looked to some numbers. I can share with you one of the numbers that was I thought is important. Like for TikTok, we have like more than 2 billion downloads for the TikTok app. And this is a milestone that is extremely important. Only few apps reach this milestone. So it's basically the same milestone, the same range as important apps like WhatsApp, like Messenger, this kind of things, you see. So this is really, really important, and it tells us a lot. There's a lot to learn in this, like from this number for marketers. This is an amazing platform that is growing very, very fast. And maybe this is not something that is going to change after the coronavirus outbreak. We don't know. So from my perspective, the most important thing is the customer behavior shift that we saw. Not only behavior, but also mindset, because people are starting thinking differently. Okay. And I think that most of it is going to stay. It's not something that is going to disappear completely after the outbreak. I don't know if you agree with that, Fady.
Sure, 100%. I think some people were forced to jump on that type within, whether it was e-commerce, buying grocery online, whether it's e-learning and everything is online schooling or e-schooling, whatever you call it. I think in the normal situation, many people were not comfortable with that, or they just were more comfortable with the physical face-to-face interactions. But now I'm totally with you, and I 100% agree, is that the online experience, it is a must. People were forced to shift to that, and many people are more comfortable with that. So for sure, it will stay and will have big impact, even inshallah, when the coronavirus flies away. Still, people would be enjoying and, let's say, embracing and utilizing these new skills that they learned online, whether it's shopping online, whether it's learning online, living online. So for sure, this impact is clear. This impact will remain, and this will change how people do different things in their lives. Sure.
Yeah, hopefully. So the one mistake that I would love that most marketers don't do is that they think that we're going to the previous normal soon. So they wanna, they wanna feel comfortable and try to stay in their comfort zone and say like, hey, this is going to go back to normal soon. So why would we like to change our old way of doing things? You see what I mean? So they think that this is over and we're going to start going back to our old normal. I actually don't think that we're going to go back to the old normal. I think that there's going to be a new normal, all right? So the way we think about customer behavior, the way we think about our customers, the way they consume services is definitely going to change. I mean, just think about it. I have some friends who are business owners and CEOs, and they're like, we have regularly conversations over WhatsApp and stuff like that, and they're like, I just realized that I enjoy working from home. Why didn't I do that before? Why did I kept going back and forth to work and suffering from traffic and stuff like that? I can enjoy more my life with both working and enjoying from the comfort of my home. So these are reflections that people are having like that. And conferences, why would I go physically to a remote location while I can do it online when physical contact is not really necessary? And if you think about it, most of the time it's not necessary. This is what we're doing right now. We get things done remotely, online. See what I mean? So people are really seeing the importance and the efficiency of doing things online. That's why I think that this is not something to go away anytime soon. And again, the mistake that I don't want marketers to do or business owners, that they think we're going to go back to normal and then we keep doing things the same way. For instance, I would love it if people consider we're buying, for instance, project management solutions if they don't have it already. Because this thing right here, this COVID-19 thing, we don't know what's going to come, right? We don't know what the world would look like in 2 months, 3 months. We don't know what is going to happen in fall, right? We don't really know. We can't predict anything. And when you think that companies like Facebook and Google are asking their staff to remain in this working from home strategy until the end of 2020, you can understand what's going on, right? So this is not something that is going to change in the coming days or weeks or even months. We don't know. Actually, I think that this is going to take much longer. So the idea is for marketers and business owners not to be, we're all happy seeing that some cities are, opening, and we're trying to go back to normal and try to getting people outside of their homes, and that's amazing. We would love to have that, but it doesn't mean that the outbreak is over. It doesn't mean that we're going back to normal. It just means that we're trying to get there. It doesn't mean that we can't have another spike in contamination, in cases, or in deaths. It doesn't mean that the virus is not going to mutate. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. And I want everyone to think that it can get worse. Hopefully not, but it can get worse. But and the mindset that we should have is to take advantage of this situation of this COVID-19 pandemic. I know it sounds weird. Maybe it sounds for somebody like bizarre or odd. It's not, because there's always a good side and a bad side in everything. It's impacting the economies, it's destroying jobs, we know it, but there's always a good side of it. And if we have enough time later on, Fady, you tell me, we can talk about digital transformation as well. But the thing is that since it's not over, we can not only survive but also take advantage of it. And I would like, for instance, people to, like I said, buy project management solutions, whether it's I don't know, whatever works for you, Asana, Trello, Monday, whatever it is. You need to integrate that in your everyday work. I would like them, for instance, to think about permanent file storage, cloud-based solutions, because if you're going to work from like remotely and from home, you will need to have your files accessible and in a safe place. I mean, this kind of things. So cut expenses in everything. Let's say decrease expenses in everything that is outside, like billboards and stuff like that, and take all of that and put it into your digital marketing. For instance, I would like you to focus on your digital presences, those social media, those Facebook page, this Instagram account that is there, and maybe not bringing you a lot of ROI, right? You don't have a huge return on investment. Is the right time to focus on that? I mean, there are a lot of things that can keep going and going. Your website. This is the time where you need to make your website work for you, not just be there and with some products or some services and a contact form and stuff like that. This is not an efficient digital presence. You need to make your website work for you and bring money into your business. See what I mean? So it's the time to do this shooting of your products to make them look like in real life products. Is the time to do your SEO and to optimize your web pages, just to make sure that your visitors are having the best possible user experience on your website. For instance, if you have a website that takes 3 seconds or 4 seconds to load, this is unacceptable. Think about it. If you're visiting a website and you're waiting for 4 seconds, let's just have a simulation. Let's say I just clicked. This is my phone, and I just clicked on a URL, and let me wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a lot. It's a lot. This is unacceptable in 2020 that you make people wait that much. So working on optimizing user experience, I would never ever say it enough. Also working on the content, and it doesn't have to be 100% coronavirus content. This is something that is going to to hopefully go away slowly, but you need to position your brand not only as somebody who sells services or products. You need to reassure, if I can say it that way, reassure your customers that, hey, we're a solid company. We're here to stay. We're going to go through this virus and this crisis, and we're doing whatever it takes to protect our people. First of all, people who are working for us, and we're doing whatever it takes to protect you as customers, especially if you have brick and mortar shops and you want people to go back to your your shops. And and it's never enough to say communicate, and keep your customers on the loop. Keep them on the loop. Hey, we're training our people on safety measures. We're doing this and that to keep you safe. You see what I mean? Be proactive, and especially not do the mistake of communicating on special deals, coronavirus deals and stuff like that. It will just make you look cheap. I would rather focus on my existing customer base and stabilize it and keep people coming back to me, and try to stay on top of mind, rather than going after new clients and do customer acquisition. It's definitely not the right time, I think, for that strategy. It's better for you to use properly your emailing list, maybe text your clients, keep talking to them, keep explaining things, rather than trying to sell stuff. It's going to come. It's going to come. Whatever your product, whatever your industry is, it's going to come. But you need to take advantage to create momentum from this moment, if I can express myself that way, because this is a hard moment, but Brands who are going to manage it well are going to stay on top of mind, are going to create this perception that these are solid brands, these are the go-to brands. See what I mean? So I don't know if you share what I said, Fady. If you agree what I said, let me know if I answered at your question. Actually,
You answered the perfect way, and I like 200% agree with you. At some point
cool.
when you were talking, I just smiled because you reminded me of something. I teach a class for graduate students at the American University in Cairo. It's a very normal classroom course, and when we shifted to online mode, the very first feedback I got from all the students, they said,
Okay.
"Hey, Mr. Fady, that's much better that we can watch the videos, we can attend the lecture at our own pace whenever we want. We can watch the videos several times instead of, Ines, Cairo is a super crowded city. So it was a struggle for many of the students to commute or to go from their work to the university, which is the other side of Cairo. So they really appreciated that they don't waste like at least 3 hours per day to go physically to the university, attend that class. They can watch the videos at any time at the speed that they want, and we can watch several times. So yes, I totally confirm that this new era is making many things easier in our lives, and many people got used to that. And I totally confirm that for digital marketing, it would not ever be just like good old times. It has changed. How far it has changed, we can debate that. But in any case, customer experience and let's say customer behavior has changed, and it will not get back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you remind me of my students in the American University of North Africa, where I actually I remember one of my students, my public speaking class. So it was funny because I was quarantined in LA. I still teach them this course. We should be done by that in 2 weeks. So I was quarantined in Los Angeles, and she was quarantined in Jordan. She was stuck in there. She couldn't come back to Tunisia because of the lockdown and all that. And I have another student. I believe where's she? From the Emirates. She's connecting from Emirates and other students in Tunisia. So it was very funny to be able to have everyone on the same class. This wouldn't be possible, even thinkable, if we didn't do it online, right? Those students would have been just stuck and they would be deprived from this class. So definitely, the good thing about what's happening is that people are seeing that digital works, that digital helps deliver. It's not just about social media. It's way, way, way beyond. So that's definitely a real tool. And again, if we have enough time to talk about digital transformation, I would be happy to share about that. You let me know. You're the boss.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned digital transformation. I think it's a super crucial topic. If we shift to that as well, how do you see, the impact also here on digital transformation? And then we can take a couple of questions already on the chat, on the comments.
Right.
But I would like to get first your opinion. How has this current, let's say, challenging situation with the COVID-19 impacted also the digital transformation as well?
Actually, it doesn't only it impacted it, it accelerated it, and it forced it. I teach digital transformation since few years to let's 3 or 4 years to business owners and managers, and I usually struggle to explain that, and it's understandable, okay? But usually it's hard for people to understand that you need to change the way you're doing business. You need to think about, you need to rethink your business model. You need to think about new products. You need to think about new processes, new leadership. You need to assess your digital readiness. How ready are your people, your team for this transformation, and everything that goes with digital transformation. It's hard to explain to people that you have something that is established. There's a way you're doing business and getting income, everything is fine, and then it's hard to tell them that, hey, you need to transform, or maybe in some cases maybe you will die. It's transform or die. It's not a choice. It was hard, but now with the COVID-19 pandemic did not only accelerate this process, but it forced it. People didn't have enough time to do any to work on any digital readiness. We needed to move now to working from home immediately. It's a question of survival of the business. So that's why I'm telling you, it forced it. We need to meet each other, but we can't do it in person. We need to use online conferencing solutions now again. And then I saw many companies the last few years struggling with implementing digital transformation in their like in the company within their teams, because there was this resistance. It's the first enemy. I consider it the first enemy of digital transformation, which is uh, people who are afraid, people who don't understand why, people who are afraid of automation, of AI, of all the things. But with the COVID-19 pandemic, they didn't even have time or choice to think about anything. We need to do it now, and it should work. Like sabotaging stuff and refusing to work with this or that tool, which can happen actually. These are this is one of the reasons why digital transformations fail around the world. I don't know if you're aware about the statistics, but it's very common to say that three digital transformation projects out of four tend to fail, and the human factor is one of the most important factors. With the emergency created by the COVID-19 thing, this factor disappeared, because everyone knew that we need to make it work now in order to survive, in order to keep our jobs, in order to to keep this company up and running. So it didn't only accelerate it forced it. And the good side of it, I want to say it again, and the good side of it is that some people who didn't see why would we transform, are seeing it right now. People who didn't understand why should we transform see it now and are convinced. Some projects that were impossible to execute in less than 1 year or 2 years, especially projects that are linked to government, like e-payment for some services and stuff like that, were done in few weeks. It was unthinkable. We kept talking to many organizations, to NGOs, to sometimes people from government, and they're like, this is going to take years. We don't have enough money for that. We don't have enough resources, this kind of excuses. But when the COVID-19 happened, there was no choice. And it happened in like an amazing amount of time, in few weeks, and it works, and we're trying to make it better. It's not perfect, but we're trying to make it better. That's what is amazing about this crisis. We need to make stuff done now, and it's working. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but we're doing it. We're doing it because it's a question of survival. So this is actually one of the amazing impacts of COVID-19 on digital transformation. And that's why we see e-learning like booming, video conferencing, buying on-demand food, online, and different industries that are thriving. Maybe remote medicine as well. So many things, things are thriving. And I want to tell you that this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. I think that COVID-19, the crisis, is going to be a turning point, a key point in the history of digital transformation. It's not just something, a parenthesis of a few weeks and that is going to go away. It's a key turning point. I hosted a Los Angeles Digital Day event last week, and I can tell you that the conference of my friend Anthony Tran, who is running a AR company here in Los Angeles, was very, very successful. And the reason why is that he was talking about how we can use AR, augmented reality, how we can use AR in marketing, in staying specifically on top of mind of people in those crisis times. And especially he talked about face filters, face filters, the ones that we find on Instagram, and we can use them in stories, how you can use them just to keep being in on top of mind as a brand. I mean, this is just a small, very small example, and how we're using VR, and so many other things we can talk about. But definitely, COVID-19 has an amazing impact when it comes to digital transformation.
I like, and thank you for this simple but clear example. This is a very simple, let's say, use case, but it's there. If you can use it, then you can leverage on the current situation. And I would quote you for this. I would call it like DD, do it or die. Because now if you don't do it, you die. So yani, the good side of the story is digital transformation is super accelerated now. If you don't jump on this bandwagon, then you're a dinosaur in the historical age. So I think that's the positive side of the story.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what used to be hard to do, what used to be extremely time consuming, like working on digital readiness, dealing with obstacles, dealing with human, linked obstacles and stuff like that, is now way easier to deal with, because they see that this is something that works. And if they didn't use, many companies would have died if they didn't choose remote conferencing, this working from home solutions, and this kind of things. They would have died, because it will be, think about it, if this happened 30 years ago, let's say, if this happened 30 years or 40 years ago, what would happen to those businesses? They will just close. They will just file bankruptcy immediately, because there's no possible way for them to keep going, because people cannot work remotely. It's a question of survival. And what I like about that is that people see immediately, spontaneously see that it is useful. It's not just the thing, we want you to transform your business because it's a lot of work and it's risky and it's costly, and we understand that. It's a question of survival right now, and people are doing it. They're just doing it, without even taking any classes, any just do it. It's do it or die. And that made the thing possible, and that's amazing, actually. With that being said, we will still, of course, when things go to something like normal, we will still need to work on digital readiness. I would even say that we will need to work more, because we know that this is something that works. We need to. That's why I was talking earlier about buying, getting solutions of project management solutions, having your documents on the cloud, working on your digital presences, not just posting on social media. We can talk about social media and how to communicate, what to say and what not to say. I can talk about that for hours. But the idea is to try to make money out of these presences, like real money, and having numbers and following. And it's not just worrying about vanity metrics, how many likes I get, how many followers and stuff like that. The question is how much money I'm getting from my social media, how much money is my website bringing to my business. That's why I was telling you, turn them into your shop. Really, you need to think about that way. And it's a shift. It's a shift, even in leadership, because when I teach digital transformation, I speak about digital transformation. I also talk about transformational leadership. Okay, so we're not only managers, we need leaders. We need people we believe in. We need people who are going to lead by example, and so many other things. So this outbreak showed us that there are many leaders among us, that we didn't even think about them. We thought that these are, regular managers or regular government officers or regular employees or whatever it is. There are leaders in there, and we saw some of them taking amazing initiatives, helping people, being positive, looking for solutions, being creative, and helping companies to pivot and find new income streams. I remember in one of my classes, when I was teaching digital transformation, one of my students, he was let me remember, I think it's a real estate company or something like that. He was shocked when I said, you need to think about new ways of earning money. You need to think about new revenue, new ways of getting revenue and getting cash in your company. Because he was like, we were doing this for years and it works. How can you say something like that? And now we just see that we need to do it. You need to have a plan A, B, X, Y, Z. And the only thing I'm afraid of is that people think that we're going to normal. Okay, we're going to normal, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. We're good. That's fine. Let's just go back to the way we used to do things. If you are a business owner or manager or marketer, you definitely need to double, triple, quadruple your efforts toward digital transformation and work on your digital presences. Definitely, this is just the beginning of what you need to do. It's not the end. It's not definitely not the end.
Can't agree more. Once again, yeah, Ines, and again, I smiled because you reminded me with all the struggle I have with the last, let's say, 10 years with all my customers, especially the small enterprises or startups,
Right.
especially the family business, when they were debating digital transformation. You know, we have been in this textile industry, we have been in this restaurant industry for ages, and there's nothing useful for us. I'm a big fan of Trello for the last 6 years, and I've been managing teams between Cairo and Rome. So whenever you talk with the business owners in that context, people were thinking like rocket science. Why do I need online tools to manage projects? You know, what the hell is this? It's rocket science. But now with this COVID-19, they're forced to do that, or else they will die. So yes, that's the positive side of the story for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is why I was telling you, it did not only accelerate digital transformation, it forced it. It forced it because you can explain to people, you know, for years you can keep explaining if and they can still not understand it. They don't understand that their competitors are not the exact same competitors that they used to have. For taxi drivers have like a huge competitor now, who is Uber. Uber is not like a direct competitor. Uber doesn't own any vehicles. It's not a transportation or logistics or whatever company. It's an app. It's an app. So this type of companies is actually a potential competitor for everyone in every industry. You see what I mean? So it's not only that you need to change to be more profitable, but to survive, because people are changing, people behavior is changing, the economic landscape is changing, and it's going to be just changing more and more and faster in the future. You need just to be aware of that.
Sure, can't agree more. Thanks again, yeah, Ines. And let's go to what do you call it? Commercial break. فاصل إعلاني. Let's get some questions with from our audience, because I think over the comments we have some quite interesting comments and questions. First of all, from
I don't see him, unfortunately. I don't see him, but I would love if you share with me.
Let me moderate that if you don't mind.
Cool. Perfect.
So from our dear friend Dr. Naveen Abdul Awafi, who teaches also online communications at MIU, she's asking, how can we, as from a training company perspective, what would be the best practices for digital marketing in times of crisis for a training company? I think that's very aligned to what you do as well. So what do you think for a training company? What would be the best practices here in digital marketing in crisis era?
Oh, it's so obvious to me. All you need to switch to online learning, and at least consider it as a new service. Okay, a new service until we go back, probably in a few months, maybe years, I don't know, to in-person events, to what we used to do. So online learning is definitely something that you need to look into, and it's not only about having tools like Zoom and stuff like that. It goes way beyond teaching online and making an online session effective and getting engagement from your students, and all that needs another layer of expertise. Teaching in person is difficult enough, but teaching online and getting the same results is even harder. So you need to acquire new skills. You need to leverage your social media. You need to keep sharing knowledge. I think that this is the best way of getting engagement. Sharing knowledge for free with people, showing that you have expertise and that you're here, you're there for them, and then getting them probably buy your products and services. Turn your website into a learning platform. Don't wait for things to get back to normal and stay in your comfort zone and say like, okay, we're going to survive the few coming months and things are going to go back to normal. We're going back to our in-person things and in-person teaching, and that's fine. Everything is going to be fine. That's a dangerous way of thinking. I hope you're not thinking this way, and I really hope that you're ready to move to this online learning. But definitely this is a broad topic. I hope I at least helped answering this concern. Let me know.
I think sure on jumping on online learning or leveraging on that is the only and the best way to proceed for a training business. If we don't do this, then we are out of scope. If we do it professionally and we really capitalize on that, then I think we grow a loyal community or loyal fan base that can be loyal to our brand, and we can develop their skills and develop our business accordingly. But it's a golden opportunity if we add the ingredient of online learning. So for sure, I can't agree more.
Absolutely. And I would add something more is that with everything that is going on with unemployment going on, and probably more and more companies are going to file for bankruptcy. You know, we see big companies and even maybe small businesses are not going to survive, unfortunately. But my point is that we're going to have bigger and higher rates of unemployment worldwide. I heard a number. I don't remember where. I believe it's CNN. I don't remember where, but we have some here in the U.S. For instance, they have something like 25 million people who filed for unemployment in the last weeks. So when you read, and I'm sure that this is pretty much the same everywhere, but the idea is that if people are going to those people who were laid off, if they are going to look for new jobs, right? Maybe they're going to go back to the same job they used to do, but the idea is teaching them and telling them that, hey, you need a plan B. You probably need other skills, okay? If you were laid off, maybe you're considered as non-essential. Maybe you need to have another layer of skills. Digital skills are going to be in demand like forever. I want to say that. If, for instance, like you see, I told you that there's a huge amount of like rate of unemployment, and then I still see job offers for social media managers, remote social media managers, a lot. I see offers in digital marketers for digital marketers a lot. So on the one hand, people are being laid off. On the other hand, companies are still looking for this type of profiles. Why? Because they are aware that they need to manage properly and profitably their social media. For instance, that's just an example, their social media presences. So you need to go beyond delivering knowledge, right? You need to go beyond. It's more about coaching people and helping them go over that. You were laid off, you have this amount of this number of skills, you need to upskill or reskill completely, okay, to fit within the new normal, right?
Yes, sure. And that would lead us to another question and comment from Dr. Rabab Abdulhamid Hashim. She commented on that, saying, hello, I think online education and shopping will be part of our life and culture even after the crisis and the pandemic ends. This crisis offers many opportunities. What other opportunities beyond e-learning and e-commerce you see that came up within this crisis?
Oh, there are so many other opportunities. Medicine, remote medicine is definitely a huge opportunity. Platforms that are going to allow people to reach out to doctors and have immediate advice and access to people working in healthcare and stuff like that. This is something that definitely is going to go like a further way. For instance, people who are going to help other people stay fit, and help them stay healthy. This is something that definitely is going to go a long way too. Financial advisory, this is something that is already working, but helping people with their financials is something definitely that is going to be here for a while, if it's not forever. Teaching people AR and VR, especially. I saw many companies here in LA working on turning their website to adding the virtual visits to their stores. So people are not able to visit physically your brick and mortar shop. Let's just bring you into that, and the more headsets are going to be available, the more content we will have. Gaming is also another opportunity. There are so many other opportunities that you can look into.
And that would also lead us to another question from Ikram Radwan. She's saying, what are the conditions for a successful digital transformation strategy, in your opinion, in the current situation?
We can talk about that for hours. But my short answer would be definitely working on the digital readiness of your people, because it's a story. It's a matter of mindset. If your people are ready, this is going to be easier for you. And with what happened with this COVID-19 thing, people saw what is the potential of digital transformation, how it can impact your business. So it's like, if the pandemic helped you convince your people, so that's why I'm talking about an opportunity. It helped you by example see the importance of digital transformation. Like, a successful digital transformation would be a complete digital transformation. You need to think about your business model, think about the way you communicate internally, think about your leadership, think about your processes, rethink your products. And basically, the most important thing would be focusing on your customer, not on your revenue, not on doing things in an easy way, not on your resources in the first place, focusing on your customer. If you put your customer in the center of your strategy, everything else will be so easier for you. If you focus on your resources and start saying, I can't do that, oh, AR is going to take, maybe is too expensive for me, VR is too expensive, 3D printing is not for me, oh, AI is too complicated, you're going to ruin your digital transformation. So we do it in sprints, but the idea is, what I teach people in my workshops: consider everything. That's why I start my workshops all the time, my digital transformation workshops all the time, with walking people through the potential technology that you can use. Potential technologies. We see what is AI, we see what is VR, what is AR, what is 3D printing, and then we start thinking without taking into consideration resources or whatever it is. We start thinking how we can implement them. The same guy I told you about, that I taught, I believe, 3 years ago, the real estate company owner that I taught in digital transformation MBA course, was the guy actually who was extremely skeptic to digital transformation when we started our course, and was actually the guy who implemented 3D printing within his company in part of a digital transformation, because he was like, they have development companies. They usually need those small models. I don't know how they call it technically, but those small models of their buildings, just to show to people, so that customers can see what the building is going to look like. And these obviously are hard to get and expensive, and obviously they take too much time. And he was suffering, his company was suffering from that. And during our course, he was like, why not use 3D printing? And then we started looking together for 3D printers on Amazon, and we started looking for people who can teach him and teach his team. And he started attending events and working with fab labs and stuff like that. So he was skeptic in the beginning, but at the end of the day, he saw the importance of that. So just to wrap up, focus on your customers, and don't practice auto censorship. Don't censor yourself. Don't neglect any technology. Don't be afraid of challenging the status quo. If you are afraid of challenging stuff, and then you go like, this tool, no, I won't change it. I'm not telling you to change it. I'm telling you to question it. Okay, I'm asking you to question every single aspect. And if it's fine, keep it. Don't change it. Digital transformation doesn't mean that you're going to change everything. It means question everything and tweak it, and keep doing it. Keep doing it like again and again and again. That's why I'm talking about sprints. Like, if you are familiar with the agile um, you know mindset, you keep doing it in sprints, and then you learn, and then you adapt, and then it's a new test. It's a continuous test and learn things. One of the questions I get: when should we say that we're done with our digital transformations? People ask, okay, I started this thing, when should I say, okay, it's done? My answer is never. It never ends. It's in cycles. Sometimes you spend more, sometimes you spend less, sometimes you focus on this working on your production, sometimes on e-learning, sometimes on the the training, not the e-learning, the training of your teams. Sometimes it's onboarding process, but it's something that keeps going on and on and on. You're learning all the time. You're tweaking your process all the time. So that's the idea. I don't know if I answered your question, but quickly, this is what I can say.
I think you answered it in quite details, and thank you for that. And we just have a couple of more questions. I know we're short in time, but I'll try to be quick.
I'll be happy to answer them. That's fine.
Okay, let's get them, because Nancy Ibrahim, she's a journalist and she's doing a shift to marketing. So she's asking, what are the most important skills to work on to transform my career? Companies trust more people with clear experience in social and digital marketing, but she comes from journalist background. So what would be the top tips or top advices for her for this transformation in her career?
Oh, I love that. Digital transforming your career. I love that. Thank you for asking this question, because I think it speaks to many people, and you're not the only one that is thinking about shifting and changing your career and adding this digital layer to your career. So my advice, first of all, would be being curious and attending events online. And be curious. This is really my best advice. Be curious about other careers, about what other digital marketing careers are, like social media manager, SEO manager, digital marketer, or that. You need to be curious about that. I'm not telling you that you're going to be one of them. And also there are trainings, special trainings and webinars for e-journalism. And this is another layer definitely that you can add to your career. I would add also teach. Maybe it will be weird, it will sound weird to you, but it's not. The best way to learn something is to teach it. Learn stuff and then try to teach it and try to spread the knowledge around you. Try to help other people. One, you're going to build your personal brand, which is extremely important. It's not our topic today, but this is definitely something I would advise everyone to do it. Build your personal brand. This is the thing that will stick with you. Businesses come and go, careers come and go, jobs come and go, but your personal brand is the one that is going to stick with you. So definitely I'll advise you to build your personal brand, start learning and teaching at the same time, and be curious about everything. Just be curious and test things to know whatever thing you would like to do. I would really advise you to move to something that you love. Okay, don't do it just because it brings money. It's a money maker. Do it because you love it. And I don't know who said that. I don't remember who said that, but do whatever you love, and then you will end up not working a single day in your life. See what I mean?
I think that's a very, very valuable advice, is just to follow your passion. Don't just focus on quick cash, because it will come in anyway. But if you just follow your passion, then that's the more solid path. And I can't agree more about what you just said. Teaching is the best way to learn something, because when you teach, you should become the expert in that. So for sure, that's an extremely valuable advice.
And then you're going to build your personal brand at the same time. So you will make yourself more valuable in the marketplace, because you're not just any journalist or not any marketer or whatever it is that you want to be. Okay, you're building your personal brand. You're you. This is what makes you unique and different and special. And definitely I want to insist on being curious, because I can't tell you exactly what you need to do. You need to do something that you love, okay, and that works with your with what you love doing. As simple as that. That's why I'm telling you, keep listening, keep attending stuff, learn, be curious. And the moment you find something that speaks to you, it will click. It will click to you, and you will start trying that, and you'll find a way to get there. Okay?
Thanks. And let me transfer the comment from Nancy. She's saying, amazing answer. Thanks a lot. Teaching is a golden advice. So, yes. Okay, last question here from Michael Jack, who's quite young. He's saying, I'm 17 years old. In my free time, I'm trying to take technical courses like HTML, CSS, Python, that type of programming languages. What else do you advise me in my free time in that context?
Oh, I would advise you to learn about AI, definitely. I don't know. I mean, it depends on people, but I would advise you to learn about AI. Okay, this is something that is going to be huge in the future. This is a technology that transforms every single industry it enters. we're just scratching the surface with AI. So I would really advise you to go and look into AI. Again, be curious, because it might not be appealing to you. I mean, it might be something that has a lot of potential, but you might not like it. And this is also a valid point. So my point is that you need to focus on testing and learning the more the most you can. So for instance, I would like you to go into AI, to machine learning, to this kind of things, and explore it and see if this is something that is interesting for you. Go ahead and have a look at AR and VR also. I mean, and this is going to be interesting for you no matter what is the outcome of it. If this is something that you like to do, then you go ahead and then you will learn more and more about this topic. And if this is something that you just, okay, you learn about AI and then you say, okay, this is interesting, but this is not something maybe for me. Maybe I'm not going to focus my career on that. I know it looks very, early to you it's too soon to you to think about your career, but believe me, it's never soon enough. At least if you don't like it, you will have this knowledge. Okay, you will have this knowledge, and whatever field you're going to go into would be it would be useful for you. You see what I mean? So AI, definitely AR, VR. I would advise you. I don't know again what you love doing, but 3D printing also is going to be something, marketing, of course, but again, it depends on you, what you like doing. But we don't know what we don't know. Okay, that's why I'm telling you, try stuff, attend events online. It's an amazing time to attend events right now because everything is almost free, and there are so many events online, so many things going on. Definitely attend events and be, keep an eye on everything. And the moment you find something that will speak to you, it will click. It will just click. Okay.
So, Ines, final thoughts and final advices for the, let's say, after Corona era. What would happen after these days, and what would be your advice for digital marketeers when we are hopefully, inshallah, out of this challenge?
Nobody knows what's going to happen. Actually, nobody knows. But my idea also always is to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So I get this question all the time. It is, when do you think this thing is going to end? We don't know again. And the question is also about, when do you think we're going back to normal? And my answer is, why would you like to go back to normal at the first place? Why would you like to go back to normal? We were always complaining about normal, what our normal. We wanted always to do something better, and we wanted to find better ways doing things, learn more, find more time, and do and be smarter, either personally or when it comes to our businesses. Why would you like to go to normal? You need to think about what is happening as an opportunity, as an accelerator from our old normal to a new normal. Why would you like to go to normal at the first place? So there will be a new normal. Okay, there are going to be winners and losers. This is how change works. There are always winners and losers. So you want to be a winner in a sense that, for instance, if you're trying to manage your career in a wise way, it's the time for you to consider new options. If you are a business owner and you struggled with your digital transformation, you wanna take your company to the next level, it's the opportunity to do it. Okay, we have more time than ever before. We have this opportunity that is showing to the world that digital works. Okay, so why would we like to go back to normal? Why would we want to do that? Let's not go back to normal. Let's go to back. Let's create a new, better normal. Okay, so that's my point.
Thank you so much, and I think that's the best quote to end our episode with. Let's not get back to normal. Let's create even a better normal. I think that summarizes lots of things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, having said so, and I know that you are quite generous with us with your time, and you have other commitments. So, I would like to end it here. Thank you so much, Ines. It was a great pleasure. Very informative, very sharp, straight to the point. Clear enough. Thank you for all your advices that you shared with us today. It was our pleasure. Dear guests, thank you for all your interaction. Stay tuned. Next Monday, we'll also be adding a new opportunity that you can leverage on and keep in touch. Stay tuned. Thank you, Ines, once again.
Thank you, Fady. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for all your smart and interesting questions. I enjoyed that. I love that. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Ines. Thanks all. Stay home. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you, Ines.